Alright, this question is from Andrew, and he says, is there any way someone with no degree, no money, and no visa can live and work in Japan? I've watched some of your videos, and I have seen the one where you spoke about this, but I'm just wondering if you can give me some more details. Alright, Andrew, when I'm asked this question, which I'm asked a lot, I feel very conflicted because on the one hand, I want to help people and encourage them, and I don't want to crush people's dreams. And I do believe that where there's a will, there's a way. On the other hand, I know that when you don't have a degree and you don't have any money, that you're taking on a challenge with the odds stacked against you. It's like going into war without bringing any weapons, any defense, any strategy, and it's not something I don't want to encourage people to put themselves in a situation where they're ultimately going to fail. I'm not saying you're going to fail. There are ways to do it. And I was thinking about your question, and you know, there's a couple ways to do it. Like, well, one which may seem a little ridiculous, but there are like actually immigrants who come over here illegally, like by sea. You know, they take a boat, a little boat or whatever from China, and they come into the country illegally. You could do that. I mean, it is possible. People do it. You don't hear about Americans doing it, but you come here illegally, live under a bridge because you said you don't have any money. Then the next thing you'd have to do is you'd have to be careful not to get caught, because once you got caught, once you had any sort of interaction with the police, they're going to ask to see your passport or your visa, and once they realize you don't have a visa, well, you're going to get deported. Okay, so your first challenge would be to like not be bothered by the police, and you could do that simply by just kind of trying to fit in. Now I'm thinking if you lived under a bridge, that would draw a lot of attention. Now you see Japanese homeless people living under bridges and inside boxes and little huts and tents that they set up near the river, but I've never seen any foreigners doing that. And I'm not putting it down, because actually I've thought about doing it before to save money. And because the rent here is so expensive and you get a ridiculously small apartment for what you pay for, I think it would actually be more comfortable to live in a tent by the river. You'd have a river view, and the rent would be free. But I've never seen other foreigners doing that, and that might draw the attention of the police. And once that happens, you would get deported. But if you could avoid getting caught by the police, the next thing you'd want to do is start handing out flyers, offering your service to teach English, and then you'd be making money doing that. But see, the thing is, you'd always have this, like, you'd always be worried about getting caught by the police, because once you got caught, you'd be deported. And that would be a huge, I don't know, that would be very mentally straining. I think it would wear you down, living under a bridge or in a tent. It might break your spirit, man. But I don't think, actually legally, a company cannot give you a work visa if you don't have a degree. So the next thing you'd have to do is you'd have to get a different kind of degree, not a work degree, not a work visa, but you'd have to get a spousal visa. So you'd have to find a Japanese girl to marry. What else? You could get a student visa. So you could start doing your private lessons, save up some money, and then you could find a Japanese language school to go to once you saved up your money from doing your private lessons. And then you could pay them. Once you pay that school the tuition, they're going to give you a visa. So now you could legally be living in Japan. You don't have to worry about the police anymore or getting deported. You got your student visa, and you could continue doing that, going to school and working. Now, mind you, man, this is going to be a lot of work. The language schools here are not cheap. You pay about, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000 for a semester. Now you can teach English here for you can make 3,000 yen an hour, which is about 30 US an hour. So I mean, the salary's pretty good, but you would have to save for a little while before you could pay that school tuition. Okay, so that's one scenario. That's what I was thinking about. See, I'm taking your question seriously. I'm not joking with you. This may sound like a joke, to take a boat over here, but I was like seriously thinking about how would you do this? Ryan, how would you face this challenge? Okay, so I'm not making fun of you. The other thing you could do, which would probably be a lot easier, but morally questionable, would be to get online and meet a Japanese girl and either as a friend make an agreement with her where like you would get married, so to speak, but actually what you would be doing is exchanging visas. She would get a visa, a spousal visa, so that she could live in America, and you would get a spousal visa so that you could live in Japan. I've met people who have done this. It's possible. Or you actually like her and you want to get married to her, and once you're married you have the spousal visa. Once you have the spousal visa, you can come on over to Japan, or maybe you can get it while you're here. I'm not sure about the intricacies of it, but so once you have the spousal visa, you would be here legally, and you could start teaching English. Anyways, that was just a few ideas that I had about how to deal with your situation. Again, I really wouldn't recommend, like if you're not willing to get a spousal visa, then I wouldn't recommend the other ways because they're just dangerous and risky, and you got the odds stacked against you. But hey man, if you have a dream and you want to take a chance on it, don't let me stop you, or don't let anybody stop you. At the very least, you're going to learn a lesson, an important lesson in life, and you may find a better way to come and work in Japan without a degree and with no money. But anyways, good luck to you.